All right, so my name is Heather, and my Instagram is a long yarn. So I will probably call this podcast a long yarn. And I'm a homeschool mom. I live in Montana, far, far eastern Montana. Although there are smaller towns, it's a pretty small town. I'm originally from Washington State, and we moved here about 3 years ago for my husband's job, which is actually in another state. And so he's gone half the month at his work, and then he comes back. So my life is very full and busy with 6 kids. I do crafty things for therapy. I definitely knit for therapy. And I also do dye some yarn just for fun, and I do occasionally sell it when I'm not using it all. And so I'm just going to be doing a podcast about my things that I enjoy and probably a lot of books that we read. And I hope to keep it super short because I only have a few minutes a day to do things for myself. And so I really carve that time out for myself. So anyway, I guess I'll share first that I am making a Christmas present for my youngest, who will be a month old next month, and her name is Sparrow. And I'm making letters, so they're cute, super cute. I hope it doesn't annoy you. I'm got a little table. We're in my craft room, which is in our attic loft, is what they call it, but it's an attic. Yeah, it has like skylights, and it's the only place I can get any light right now because it's super overcast. The sky is just full, and if you know anything about Montana, it's big sky country, so it's really full. Anyway, so here's the sea, and all you do is you just have a piece of fabric, which is old clothes. I've been sewing with my kids' old clothes, so I don't have to schlep them around every time we move, which is a lot. And quilting and a piece of like fabric that I got for backing a quilt. It's just cream, little flecks of brown. I just freehand everything and then cut it out. And some people use baking shears, and I'm hoping to wash them so they get puffier. So those are kind of out. But here's a D and an E. Yeah, so I'm super excited because we don't need any more toys. So I've been trying to find things that I can make. If you saw my Instagram, you also know that I'm making a quilt for my daughter out of the same clothes. It's for my daughter Poppy, who is 7 and doesn't really have a proper blanket on her bed. That's terrible. But when you have 6 kids, you just keep like, oh, there's a blanket. And so anyway, poor kid, right? I am like everybody else working on a sock blanket, but I noticed nobody's working on the sock blanket I'm working on, which a few years ago, I remember, what was it? Mustache Yarns had a podcast, and Steph was working on this blanket, and that's where I was like, I have to have one of those. So it's actually from this book, Knit Along, and this is a really fun book. And I've been trying to get books just because I try to stay off the internet anymore. It's so addictive. I could just sit on it for hours. It's terrible, but true. So anyways, it's the Barn Raising Quilt. Just real quick. And Knit Along, which is by Larissa Brown and Martin John Brown. So anyways, lots of squares. And I have to admit, a lot of this is Knit Picks because it's super soft and my kids will actually wear it. Which, was cheap too. It wears okay. You can wash it. That's always nice. This one is actually one of my yarns. And more Knit Picks. Some pink. Gosh, I have so many of these squares to do, but super exciting. Sometimes they seem big and I don't know if I don't know, different needles or what, but I really like that one. Isn't that cool? These made really good socks for my husband. And this is my newest one, which I think I'm going to do 2 of these because rainbows. I did get like a stitch. I dropped and twisted on accident, but oh well. That is one of the things with knitting. You see this? I always count these as those little like Japanese imperfections, you know. They're beautiful. Make a hand knit. It's not from a machine. And I keep them all in a little basket. I have decided to get more project bags because how fun is that? They're so cute. And I definitely don't have time to sew any, although I've been meaning to. There's one on my sewing table that we're sitting next to right now. But anyways, that's all I have right now. I think after I sew it together, I'm going to back it with something like a soft flannel. Because it just doesn't seem like... I see the other ones that people are doing with the mitered squares. They seem thicker, heavier. And this is just, I don't know, maybe after I wash it all together it'll feel different, but I think I'm going to put flannel on the back because it gets cold in Montana. Although it's been very nice. We've had like 50-degree days lately, and 2 weeks ago we were having 70-degree days every day, like getting too hot when we go on our daily walks. No winter for us, I think. So I'm working on the vanilla is the new black sock, but the toe up version, because I usually do cuff down and I want to do more toe up socks. Just because I could use the yarn, and then I could do my square for my sock blanket from the other side and use up all the yarn and not have these little bitty scraps everywhere of yarn. Although I'm sure, you know, I could get a buddy to change those with, right? I wish. If anybody wants to be a buddy, I would love to exchange yarns. That would be super fun. So anyways, if you haven't seen it, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if my phone will do that. I mean, you can go online. You can go on my Instagram. I'll probably be on there. And once I put it on my foot, I think it shows up better. But it's super cool. And you get to learn how to do shadow wraps, which if you haven't done are amazing little things. I used to cast on, I used double points in the Turkish cast on, which is super, super simple. And if you want to learn to do that, Knitting Blooms has a little one, and she uses circs on hers, but I just use DPNs, which means you need 3 DPNs, and it's a little funky to use 3 DPNs. I'll have to admit, it's easier to do just the circs. And then and then little mini circs because I like them. And I tend to be a flicker, but when I'm using these, I use my left hand. And it's super fast, makes your sock go great. And I'm almost to where I think I'm going to start ribbing. I think I'm going to do more ribbing than I normally do. I don't really like my socks to stay up. I hate when they're slouchy, but I've tried to do a smaller sock with less stitches on the needle, and it just doesn't. I went down a size when I was doing this sock, which is super cute, and I don't know if I should take it out now because the foot's too long for my daughter. Otherwise I just give it to her. I mean, she's only 7 and I have good size feet for a really short person. So anyway, but see, it's just too thin for me. It stretches too much across the cable, but this is all scrappy, and that's why I'm afraid to take it out. I'd give it to my mom who has smaller feet, but I think she actually has wider feet than me, and she has much shorter feet, so it's not gonna work either. But super cute. Socks on a plane. I don't know. I might just wear them anyways. They're just stretched, so they're thin. And this is actually in a circ, which this pattern I like on that, and it has that great heel, which I guess, I don't know, a Flegal heel, maybe. So, and that's in my little basket. So I usually keep my sock that I'm working on, or socks, and then my little, balls of scrappy yarn. There's another, this one's mine. Stolen Kisses. And there's some little tiny ones that are finally getting down. I love this one. This is Regia, maybe, but it's another kind of rainbow-ish one, and it has all these greens. Really, really pretty. So I'm working on some other things, but that's all I'm going to show you today because you don't need to see all my projects and let me show you next time. I'm like, oh, here, look at, I'm on the same project again. That's not any fun because knitting is therapy for me, and I don't always have time to get a ton done on it, unfortunately. Maybe one day. I said that like years ago when I just had 3 kids and I had a 6-year break, and I had 3 more. And I'm much older now, even though you probably don't think I am. I'm much older now, and this baby has worn me out, even though she's an excellent baby. Totally fun, totally cute. Laughs all the time, and she totally is a little birdie. We call her Birdie, and yeah, just so happy. And my light is changing, so now I don't know how it looks, but maybe if I hold it here, I don't know, maybe you can see. Like I said, I'm filming on my phone, and that's an iPhone, and I don't know how it's adjusting. But like all the podcasters, it should get better, right? I'm sorry, I have a little sniffle. It's actually cold upstairs because we have radiators and there's no heater up here. It's a little cold up here today. But anyways, these are my favorite pair of gray corduroys, and I was going to throw them away because they're getting a little shabby in places. Like, the buttons came off the back. And then I was just going to cut them up and put them in this quilt that I'm working on, because I've been doing corduroys and like some velveteen pants. Very fun. And then I've been doing little pockets on my quilt. But anyway, so you can kind of maybe see the front of the pants. And then I did the other knee. That's the thigh. And then I did this one on the knee, which led me down the rabbit trail of Sashiko, I think is how you pronounce it. Oh gosh. That is amazing and fun. I think I'm going to maybe do some coasters. Probably take me all year, and I can give them to people for Christmas next year, but like some little felt Sashiko coasters so that you can do each pattern and learn the patterns. Looks like a lot of fun. And of course, you know, had to get like 50 new people to follow on Instagram because I had to look up Sashiko. I'm like, oh, what do you do? It's amazing. So yesterday was Thanksgiving in the States, and so we had a fun time. It's just us. I was a little sad this year because I don't know, I was really missing my family. I think the first couple years I was like, oh, it's okay, I can do it. Now I'm like, oh, I totally miss my mom. And I don't know, I miss, like when we were young, we had really big family Thanksgivings, and I do miss that quite a lot. I wish I could give that to my kids, but maybe next year we can have some guests. I already have to cook for this many people. It's already a feast every day. So here is our mason jar. There's some papers in there. You can't really see anything. We started a thankful jar this year, and it's been kind of hard being away from family, and sometimes we all get really negative and so yeah, every time we're thankful, we're gonna write it on a piece of paper or whatever we're thankful for. Little kids can ask for help and put it in there, and then plan at least on Thanksgiving next year to read them all. But I think when we're sad, when we miss family, we can open the thankful jar and check it out and see some things that people are thankful for. So I have been kind of on a journey with church, and I grew up Catholic and started going to different churches, and then was kind of interested in going back to a more traditional church. Sorry if you're not a churchgoer. I'm not going to get into any more detail than that, really. You can message me if you're interested. So anyways, been a little more open to like different things. Also missing the holidays in the Catholic Church a lot. The traditions that my mom always had for us were very cool. So a few years back started the local Presbyterian church, which is awesome and has a married couple as the leadership, the pastors, if you want to say that. So it's really fun. They take turns, so we get to hear from moms and dads, and they're very kind of younger families, so they have kids and pregnancies, and it's very cool and kind of feeds my soul for that more traditional church. Anyways, so I got this. I saw it on an Instagram friend's account because she wrote an article in this one. It's free, but please, if you do get it, send them a donation, because they take, I guess, love offerings to keep going. And as they get money, they put out more issues. I don't know how regularly, because this is my first one, but the drawing's really cute. And this is the summer issue 2016. It's called Soul Gardening, and I can't remember the Instagram that I hopped on to say hi. You could do hashtag Soul Gardening Journal, and then it's soulgardeningjournal.com and soulgardeningjournal.gmail.com. But I keep it with my knitting basket downstairs, where I usually will like grab a cup of coffee, sit down, baby's taking a nap. Yeah, and it's just really pretty. It's all pretty much black and white with little pictures here and there. Cute drawings. I don't know which person does it. It probably says in the front. Recipes. This one's about bone broth. And just little quotes. St. Teresa. So just I don't know, pleasant things to read. And it's so nice to have paper things to read. I don't like on the internet how everything has become very commercialized. It's like, you click over on your Facebook article somebody shared with you, it looks really interesting, or a funny little video, and now it's like bing, 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 bing. You gotta like scroll down, it's a read more, and there's advertising, and I just get very overwhelmed from that, especially since we've been living here. We went back to visit family, and just going to the grocery store in a smaller town in the Puget Sound just overwhelmed me. Like, part of it was I was pregnant. I get sick all the time, but all those people, it was a lot. So, anyway, I'm just going to show you some books my kids have been reading, which I don't know if you can hear them. They're right downstairs at the bottom of the stairs. We've been reading Goodbye Summer, Hello Autumn, and super cute. I always do a little table with seasonal books for my kids. It's sort of a Waldorf-y table if you're into that, Waldorf education. We do a weather tree, little beeswax figures that my kids make, little crafts they make, leaves they pick up, things like that. And I just got this. So we have a really old library system here, and it goes throughout the state. So when I order books, I sometimes get really cool old books. So yeah, not unusual for them to be from the 50s, literally from the 50s. Not just they were published in the 50s, but they have been sitting on a shelf for that long. The Tomton, I think that's how you pronounce it. So just getting ready for Christmas, the holidays. I'm trying to find a picture. Oh, that's kind of spooky. So, anyways, thank you for visiting with me, and I hope you have a lovely holiday, and crafting is wonderful, and there's peace in your home, and yeah, thanks for visiting with me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.